Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Village of Gold River Council meeting. Just start off our meeting by doing a land acknowledgement, acknowledging that we're on the traditional, ancestral, and the unceded territories of the Mount First Nations. I'd like to call the meeting to order and start off with introduction of late items. Councillor Waymar, you have a late item, I see.
Yeah, I've got a late item here, a notice of motion for under notice of motion.
And I don't see any problems receiving that. Anybody have any issues receiving that and adding it? No? Okay, it's added under notice of motion. And did you want to speak to that tonight, sir, at all? When we get there? Okay. Yeah, I read it once, but you interpreted it for me. Cool. And I do have another late item that I'd like to introduce to the agenda, our new business, and that was just a discussion of the village Christmas party. Any problems with that? Everybody good with that? Okay. So put that under new business then, village Christmas party. And Councillor Pringle, did you have something?
To your worship, I was wondering if we could go in camera to talk about an employee situation?
Personnel issue? Or?
Yes, yes.
We can, I suppose, yeah. Council members, do you have any objection to having an in-camera session this evening? Discuss personnel matters? No? Okay. Add that in. Motion to adjourn in camera personnel. Excellent. Any items that you may want to add to the agenda there, Administrator Roy? Any late items, sir?
No, your worship.
Thank you, sir. Item number 3, approval agenda, that the agenda be adopted as presented. Who care to move it? Councillor Pickard, second by Councillor Fossin. Any discussion? No, seeing none, call for the question. Carried unanimously. Number 4, adoption of the minutes, that the regular meeting minutes from November 3rd, 2025 be adopted as presented. Who care to move it? Councillor Waymar, second Councillor Pringle. Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Public and statutory hearings, none. Unfinished business, none. Delegations. Are you guys delegates this evening or just coming to keep tabs on us? Make sure we behave ourselves? Oh, okay, keeping us honest. I like that. It's nice when the boss shows up, keeps you honest. Okay, no delegations. Moving forward, administrative reports. B1, 2026 5-year financial plan. The motion is that council direct administration to proceed with the 5-year financial plan by law based on council direction received. Care to move it? Councillor Fossin, second by Councillor Pringle. Any discussion? Perhaps we can start off with just ceding the floor to Administrator Roy in case he wanted to address any issues on the report. Is there anything that you'd like to comment on, sir?
Since we presented it a couple of weeks ago, and then we had the open house, there was efforts made that we balanced the budget in 2026 and made some adjustments for the future years. Some of those adjustments will have to be revisited once we get closer to those dates.
Mm-hmm.
That's around the basically expectations on interest revenue. We also did add one more project into the project list. If you recall, earlier this year, we did give approval to go for a grant for potential generator at the arena. We have not heard yet on that, but we do need to include it in the budget just in case it does come in, so that at least it's.
And that was in conjunction with the SRD, and that would be 100%. Is that the one that we're
That's
looking at?
correct. It's be fully funded through grants.
Terrific. Thank you, sir. Anything else you'd like to speak to? Any project items?
Also on the projects, just as a reminder to council, we have that funding in there for the Nipkish Park. We do have a report that will be coming forward outlining the various ideas or options that are in there for council to review prior to us proceeding with any expenditures on that line item.
Thank you.
It'll probably be in the new year at this stage since we only have one more council meeting left this year.
Great. Thank you, sir. Discussion, council. Or any questions you care to direct towards the administrator? One of the items that I'd like you to comment on, sir, is the crane down at the wharf that we have budgeted in our projects budget. And my understanding is that that crane is either irreparably damaged and or it needs to be replaced or it could be repaired, but we're not quite sure the status of it. And I'd like to remove it from the budget because my understanding is that it's rarely used, and when it is used, it doesn't generate much money and it doesn't actually pay for itself. So I'd like to hear your comments on it, sir.
Actually, I will defer this to our Director of Operations. He's on with us online.
Oh, Director of Operations Doxy, you're joining us this evening?
Yes, hello. So concerning the crane at the wharf, Michael Roy is correct. It doesn't see a lot of use. It is included in the budget. The value at $75,000 would facilitate a used crane of similar capacity. A new crane would be, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of around double that as a starting place. And so what we're expecting, I have low faith that when we do the certification inspection this year, that it will come out without needing more significant work. And so we will either need to do some hefty repairs or consider taking it out of commission or proceed with the replacement. So we will need some funding to facilitate obviously the inspection, you know, through the operations maintenance budget for the wharf, and there could be some costs if we do decide to forego, say, a crane. There would be some costs that I don't know yet to physically remove the crane at some point, whether that's this year or next year. But that could be a conversation depending on how that inspection goes. So.
Thank you, sir. On the revenue generation side or the usage side, how much money does that crane rental generate per year for us? And what users are using that piece of equipment down at our municipal dock?
I don't have that handy on the top of my head. If I had to put a thumbnail on it, I would say the revenues are less than a couple $1,000s, and I think there's only about 2 or 3 fishing vessels that use it, commercial vessels that are using it. I don't know if Michael Roy's got a handier number.
Roy, can you add to that?
Last year, I believe we only made a few $100s on it, actually, and the only current users I'm aware of using it would be the people who do it for the sea cucumbers from the Sea Cucumber Association, who do some harvesting off our coast here.
Just one last question to help me in this deliberation. Is staff recommending that we replace or repair that, or does staff have a recommendation on it?
Well, at this point in time, we're recommending attempting to hold status quo and keep a crane on the wharf. There hasn't been a lot done in the sense of like business case for it, or against it. You are right, when if there's only going to be a few $100s worth of revenue generated from it, and one user, it probably doesn't make a lot of sense. You know, in the sense of a business case, it may not make a lot of sense to even put a lot of resources into doing that. But I think I would tend to, if I had to come back, I'd probably have to recommend against it.
Thank you, sir. Just going back to our procedures within council, Administrator Roy, if we wanted to make a motion within this motion, we'll follow the same format we did during our CAL meetings where we just do motions within motions. So I'd like to make a motion that we amend this project budget and remove this item. If I have a seconder, are you seconding that, Councillor Pickard?
Yeah, and I have.
And then we can have some discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, second by Councillor Pickard, discussion? Councillor Pickard.
Thank you through the chair, and thanks Director Doxy for the information on the crane. And there's a couple more details that we have that maybe council could learn about, just to make our decision on the crane, that we received a message from Jennifer Woodland last year about the crane. And they mentioned that Grieg has managed the use of the crane and as part of their harvesting operations in the past years, although it's owned by the village of Gold River. They've maintained it and repaired it when needed. So I don't know if we know the cost or what they put into it or what the cost would be to the village. And they've given access to other users, for example, Rachel's Era and Oban. And they haven't used it for several years, and their name was still on it to contact for use, and they've identified it as a liability. So wanted the crane to go back into village maintenance and managing, and also be able to collect revenue if there was anyone who wanted to use the crane. So the Grieg Seafood was probably the main user, but not using it anymore.
I remember that.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Councilor Wimmer.
Yeah, through the chair to the director, Doxy, what dollar value would be required for an assessment on the crane, or just to, have the inspection so we don't totally shoot ourselves in the foot and take away our budget for an inspection on the crane at least?
If I may, through your worship, the inspection, if memory serves, it's around $1,500. It might be lower than that, but it's not a huge amount, and it would be something that we could probably we would be able to cover it within our maintenance budget for the wharf. It's just that if work came out of that, then we would have to assess and kind of determine where we go from there. So it would likely come offline and not be certified for 2026. But again, it's only had one user. It sounds like the Sea Cucumber, so it's.
Any follow-up questions, Councilor Wimmer? Councilor Pringle.
Thank you to the chair. I personally would like to see a report on this. I'd like to see the black and white and to find out exactly what all the options are and how much it's going to cost us. I do think you are right, Mayor, but for transparency and for the people who we have to justify this to, I would like to see a report on it.
Thank you, Councilor Pringle. Councilor Fawson, do you weigh on this? You want to weigh in on the subject?
Thank you, through the chair. I'm in agreement with Councillor Pringle. That was my thoughts as well.
Okay, well, there's a motion that you can defeat then. So we'll just call for the question. So call for the question on the motion that's on the table, which is to remove the item from the budget in its entirety. Those in favor? Those opposed? The motion carries. It's removed from the budget. Thank you. Second item that I wanted to have a discussion with you folks on is there was some reference to the fact that our main pool boiler has packed it in. It's irreparable. It can't be repaired. It needs to be replaced. And I see that in the budget that we had $125,000 included in there. And what I understand, reading the report, it was for the main pool boiler, the swirl pool boiler, and a PVR, and I think some backflow preventers. And I believe the total was 125 with 105 out of the budget and 20,000 through a grant. Is that going to be coming out of the 2025 budget, and then we could remove that from the 2026 projects, or are we still going to be paying for that in 2026? Administrator Roy?
Based on the delivery timelines that we were quoted, which was 4 to 12 weeks, it will need to be in the 26 budget to pay for, because that's when we incur the payment. We could do the ordering now, but our expectation is we're not going to see it till January, at least at the earliest.
Thank you very much, sir. And then finally, the item I had that I wanted to approach is that I know we did a place, keeping budget with that $500,000 for the upgrades and infrastructure in Nippish Park. And we talked about using our Growing Communities Fund. But I'm really uncomfortable with signing a blank check. It doesn't really fall within my concept of financial responsibility or accountability or good financial management by signing over a blank check for $500,000. I know you're talking about bringing us back a report, but I would like to see this council have a bit of discussion and identify priorities that they would like to see so that there's some direction there rather than just saying we're going to put $500,000 of our grant into that project without any direction whatsoever. So I know we could be just wait, for a report to come back, but is council interested in providing some direction to staff on what we'd like to see prioritized there? Or are they comfortable with the idea of just leaving $500,000 in there and letting staff come back with a report for us to work off of? Can I start off with the CAO and I'll get back to you, Councillor? CAO.
Just so council's aware, when we had the open house, part of the open house was discussion on Nimkish Park.
Yes, sir.
And when we talked about the projects a couple of weeks ago, we indicated at that time that nothing would be proceeding until that report came back to council for review and direction. So although the money's sitting in the budget, it's not a go ahead for us to initiate spending, but it is a placeholder earmarked for the potential funds. But what is going to be done with that will still have to be determined once we get the results in and council has a chance to review any feedback that we may have had and then provide further direction to administration.
Thank you for that clarification, sir. Councillor Pringle.
To the chair, I thought we had already identified some of the most pressing things are the track, resurfacing the track and those other things. And I would probably assume just by doing that, it's going to be close to $500,000 the way things are going. And yeah, I think that if we didn't have anybody show up to the open house, so what do we need? Is it just going to be the five of us deciding of what's going to be?
That's what we do at budget time.
Yeah, I realize that, but
Sorry, the open house I'm referring to is when we had the zoning and OCP. There were a few people there, not the budget open house, sorry.
Yeah. Based on the description or the explanation that the CAO gave me and the reassurance that no work would proceed without that report coming back to council and council reviewing that and determine the priorities and making a determination on the funding, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with signing a blank check, putting $500,000 in with no guidance. So if that's how it's being managed, I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with having a placeholding. I'm comfortable having a report prepared because they're still working on that and then bringing it back to council so the council's still providing direction and authorization of the funds. I'm comfortable with that at this point. So I wouldn't make any motions to doing anything in terms of giving direction because I think that it still goes through a process that the public would perceive as being financially responsible.
Your worship, also as a reminder for council and anybody else, per our purchasing policy, also anything over 75,000 comes back to council before it gets awarded anyhow. So that's our final stopgap measure, is that it still has to come back for council. So even if a plan gets approved, it still has to come back to council for approval.
Thank you, sir. I'm good with that. Is everybody else good with that? Councillor Pickard.
Thank you through the chair. And yeah, I like that it has to come back to council and good suggestions that you provided in your message. And I think, I guess just based on the demographic I live with on the daily, the improved park equipment, I think would be good to consider and look at and see what the budget would be. And just wondering through the administrator, we have to talk to the Gold River Garden Community Club. And is there anyone else that we have to do the park plan with or that we should engage or should be part of the park planning? Any other groups that you guys can think of?
Mr. Roy.
I'm not aware of any other groups. I know the community gardens people were made aware of the open house. I'm not sure if any of them made it out to that. But we also are administration well aware that we have to accommodate that group into the space at the same time as this is being put forward.
Perfect. Thank you.
Terrific. Any other discussion on the operating budget and the project budget? Any other questions that you might have for Director of Operations Doxy or for CAO Roy? Wow. Great. Okay. No other discussion. There's a motion on the table. Call for the question. All in favor? Carried unanimously. You have approve the operating budget and the project budget. You did that in November. Well done. You've given the staff a whole year to work on the projects instead of the 7 months I used to get when I had these things approved in the middle of May. So I think that without cost, you've added a lot of value. Terrific. And I'm really, like I said, I'm really thrilled that this council administration got to the point where the 5-year financial plan is balanced. I didn't think that there was a possibility when we started 3 years ago, and I'm very pleased to see that through the efforts of the council and the staff and employees and whoever else involved in the process, as well as the community, that we're there. I think that's a really good position for the village to be in right now. Great. Okay, that one's done. Reports from council. It seems like we're here every day, so I don't think we have got an update over the last 24 or 48 hours. When was the last time we were here? Seems like it's every night. Councillor Fossen.
Thank you, Worship. I just want to give a verbal
Thank you, sir.
thank you to the community and to the Legion for our Remembrance Day service that we did have on the November the 11th. Again, thank you to the Legion for, again, organizing it, and thank you to the community for showing their support for our veterans, both past and those that are still present with us.
Great. Thank you for the comments. Is that it, Councillor Fossen? You're good?
Yes, Your Worship.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Pickard.
Thank you through the chair. And thank you, Councillor Fossen, for your acknowledgement of the Legion and the ceremony and the effort they put in always. And I think it's such a special thing our community does and everybody shows up for, and for the kids to come and see and just be so just grateful for where we live and how much freedom we have. So I think, yeah, it was really a great day. And so thanks to Legion, and the Rangers always do a good job. And I noticed 2 of them got, I think, national awards. So that's amazing, 2 Rangers from the community. And yeah, nice to see everybody there too. Also, Mayor Lawton and I had some thank yous last time for the Gold River Golf Course board. We know there's been a bit of a change, but we wanted to thank you guys are here tonight and just thank you guys for all your service and your work and your dedication. And you guys have been so integral for so many people to just get together and have an amazing course. And everyone always says it's the best course ever. And it brings kids to seniors to middle ages to everyone together. So we wanted to, I'm sure Mayor Lott will have more to add on, but thank you guys for all your service. And I hope you enjoy your retirement and summers and golfing more. And good luck to the new executive. And then also just a small update. Don't really have anything watershed and fisheries wise, but Mayor Lott and I had a small update from Shannon Mobley from Greek Seafood. So it was great to see her back. She had a bit of a leave for some medical stuff. So she's back writing us updates. So she must be okay. And she had a little update that the U.S. authorities have approved the Cermak Greek seafood transition. So we're still awaiting the Canadian authorities to approve the sale, but they've gone through Norwegian and American authorities' approvals. So they say they're expecting clarification from Canada during December. And so one step closer to finalizing the transaction. And so we wish them luck. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you, Councillor Pickard. Councillor Pringle.
To the chair, just 2 things, and they're just a little different, but we are taking donations at the school. If there's anybody that has anything they'd like to donate for festive baskets,
No.
we are looking for some things there. And also too, the food bank drive is on Wednesday, the 26th of November at 5, I think it's 5 o'clock. And please, or Wednesday, November 26th, yeah, at 5. Please remember that babies need formula. They also need diapers. They also need butter and those kinds of things, because lots of people give canned goods and that kind of stuff, but you can't make good potatoes, mashed potatoes without butter. So please, if you can, donate some things that are kind of outside of your box. That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pringle. Councillor Raymer.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. I think I'm going to change the order around here so I can go first instead of last, because when it gets to me, it seems like I'm just nodding, affirming what all the other counselors have recognized and acknowledged. So I'll just lend my voice to it also, is that I'm really grateful for all the organizations, volunteers, and people that participate in putting on that the wonderful event for us, which is our Gold River Remembrance Day event. Unique. It really reflects Gold River, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And I'm very grateful for how much effort goes in, and because it just shows our respect for the people that are serving right now and those who have served and have sacrificed. So I think that's yeah, really great that we commemorate that during that day. So yeah, carry on. They do great work. The other thing that I did want to touch base on, but I think I'll leave it for another day when I do a little more research on it, but because it has to do with the CERMAC project. So I'll leave it at that and then move on. Councilor Brindle.
To your worship, sorry, I just wanted to also add that we would like to thank Sergeant Lieutenant Blier, who came to the school for our ceremony. He from 19 Wing Comox.
Yeah.
He was just awesome, and the kids really enjoyed him. He was just so personable, and we just would really like to thank 19 Wing Comox, not just from the school, but also from the village, because it helps keep our community. And those kids were quiet for the whole time. So it was very much appreciated.
Yeah, and it's not usual that I get an opportunity to express the thanks on behalf of council and the community to a special volunteer within the community who has dedicated countless hours to making one of our facilities spectacular. And that is our very own Trudy Annan, who's put in, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 years. I can't even remember how many years, but it's a lot. So I want to personally come up and shake your hand. If you give me permission, I give you a hug too. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate all your efforts.
Definitely fun years.
And yeah. And Trudy, I can relate to council, because when we took over this portfolio, the 5-year financial plan didn't look that good. And I think when Trudy took over 8 years ago from the golf course, and she looked at the balance sheet, I think she was trying to run away. Because all that she's seen in the budget was red, 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 and there was a huge deficit down there, and there wasn't really any plan for getting into a balanced budget or recouping the finances and getting to a point where they were financially responsible. But with her business background, she was able to turn that around. And my understanding right now is that that is a sound balance sheet down there. They're in the black and everything's good. And she turned over something that was all red that she received to something that was all black to the next group. And I'm sure that the new executive is very appreciative of the balance sheet that Trudy Annan and her group, her executive, was able to achieve over there over her tenure. And we're really appreciative of it too, because that means that you're not coming to us for more and more money all the time. And we like that. Yeah. And while I'm at it, we should also acknowledge that Trudy has retired, which you probably got from my discussion so far. And but when one person retires and one group retires, the organization still needs to go on. So the flame needs to be passed, or the torch needs to be passed to a new group. And we do have a new group down there, and there looks like an excellent group. I trust the people, and I trust democracy, and they've elected this group, and it looks like a very solid group. And I'm hoping that they'll be able to carry on and provide the type of exemplary leadership that we've enjoyed under Trudy Annan and her executive and her groups down there. And yeah, we wish you a happy retirement. And if you get bored, like I said, nomination papers are available. I understand that there's an election next year, so Might want to go back into public service again if any of our counselors or the mayor decides that they don't want to run for another 4 years. So thank you very much, Trudy, and everybody else that's involved in your executive. I don't know everybody else, so I'm not going to make an effort to acknowledge them. I know Lori for sure. Yeah, she's like attached. I think when they separate, they start to bleed. So, but yeah. But yeah, I can recognize Lori too, but I also like to recognize everybody else. So I don't, and since I didn't get a list from Trudy, but when I started this, I better not go down that pathway or I'm gonna make somebody upset. So number 10, information items, work in progress, that council received the work in progress for information. Who'd care to move that? Councillor Fossin, seconded by Councillor Pringle. Any discussion on the items that are on there? No. Call for the question. All in favor? Done. Cool. Report of committees, none. Bylaws, none. Correspondence. Move that the council receive the correspondence for information. Who'd care to move it? Councillor Weimar, second by Councillor No Pickert. Any discussion? Councillor Pringle.
To the chair, the 13.2, the City of Port Alberni, Vancouver Island Regional Library Resolution for Revised Funding Modeling. I would like it if we could maybe talk about this further, maybe in the new year, and also support this letter or motion that they have put forward. I know that just with our library here in Gold River, we've, one of our librarians, our best librarian, has gone because of the way they're doing their modeling and hours and those kinds of things. So I would just like to see if we could have some discussion about it in the new year.
I'm fine with that. Councilors, are you guys fine with that? Okay, will you bring that back in the new year for us, Councilor Pringle? Thank you. Okay. Any other discussion on correspondence? Call for the question. All in favor of receipt? Done. Okay. New business. New business. The item that we have that we introduced as a late item is councilors' wishes for the village Christmas party. And I don't think there's anything on the table other than maybe discussion and direction to staff. Because I think what I could start the conversation off, I would like to see us replicate what we did last year. I think it was a really good program with the slight modification that we don't have any time to ask staff to try and procure any type of presents or anything. So I would like to revert back to what historically we've done with this $50 gift certificate to employees that is for purchases in town, stimulate revenues for our in-town businesses. So a $50 gift certificate for in-town purchases for participating businesses. And other than that, all the events that we did last year with the swim, the skate, and the dinner for staff and employees. And I don't know, so you guys, that's my thoughts. I don't know if you want to modify that or not, if there's any additional things that you want to add or remove or do something completely different. Councillor Pringle.
To the chair, would that also include the light up, the tree light up? Can we talk about all of that at the same time? Or do we have to have a motion for each, or?
I think the fire department usually initiates that and does most of that and comes out of their budget. And we just there to plug in the cable. I think that's it, isn't it? CAO Roy, am I correct?
Actually, they support council on that. It's actually a council initiative, the tree lighting, but they've supported with the hot chocolate and assisting council with that.
Seems like it's the other way around that we're assisting them. Okay, sure. That can be included into it. I would just leave maybe that discussion for staff because I don't know when they want to do it or how that fire chief and CAO could work it out, but I would support that also. Everybody good? Is there anything that we need to do procedurally there, Administrator Roy?
Just for the free skate, free swim would need a council resolution for that, authorizing that, as that's not an ability that administration has to waive the fees.
Sure. Okay, so we'd have to do that as a motion then, that part of it. But okay. Councilor Weimar, is there something you want to comment on, sir?
I suppose, would that also include a specific date that we need to have? I know in past years, the Ray Watkins has had their Christmas roughly the same time we want to light up a tree. So if we can double check before we go with any date, it's hopefully somebody here knows when it is.
Maybe Councillor Pringle can assist us with that. I think it's great, though. We do have to select the date, even for the Christmas dinner, like I think we historically we've done it on a Saturday, so and we do it early. So I guess the early would be the 6th of December, I think is probably the first Saturday in December, if I'm correct. 6th. Councillor Pringle, did you want to tell us if we got any conflicting times?
Yes, to the chair. We have the dress rehearsal on December 16th during the day for the
December
concert.
15th? Okay.
So if anybody can't make December 17th, the evening, doors open at 6, concert starts at 6:30. There also will be a concession from PAC. Please bring cash. And then we're also going to be having a Christmas luncheon again at the school. That
Oh.
date is varying because there's going to be the staff party for the village, or sorry, for the 2 schools on December 11th,
Oh,
that
okay.
night.
Okay, December the 11th. Okay,
Oh, and December 12th is a not in session day.
okay. There's some dates. So I got the 11th, 12th, and 16th of the days that we're blacking out. Okay. Councillor Pickard.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for all the dates and details, you guys. And Administrator, I know we normally approach Western for a donation of the tree, and I always forget about this in the summer, but is there any way we can get one planted? 'Cause there's always like 2 or 3 windstorms and it's sideways during the holidays, but even if it starts small and kind of grows as we go.
I know we've had some discussion on that through your worship, but maybe if Director of Operations would like to chime in on this and maybe an update on when a tree will be in place.
Sure. So we had kind of planned on securing a tree here for the first week of December. I believe historically, Public Works generally secures the tree. Sometimes with WFP this year, we had one that's kind of conflicting with a lift station and utilities that we would just, pardon the expression, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So not necessarily needing the contribution from WFP this year, but we would generally get the tree ready for that first week of December and then coordinate the light up with the fire department and I think the Chamber of Commerce. I'm not sure. For some reason, I'm thinking they're involved with the hot chocolate and bits, but that's kind of the evil plan. So that would make that Saturday, December 6th work fairly well.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Pickard.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And that reminded me, I don't think the chamber does the hot chocolate, but remember they had that evening night shopping kind of, they want to coordinate with the tree. So if people were out. So I don't know if anyone's heard any dates on that or not, but I like the idea of the shop local gift card. Keep your receipts, Pete. I mean, Councillor Wimheimer. And I also think it's an awesome idea that we do every year to offer all residents the opportunity to come and skate at no cost, even though our rates are really good, and also the opportunity to come and swim. So I think those are great gifts that we can waive the cost for and just share our rec centers with the residents. So I'm supportive of those.
Agreed. Does that pretty well touch all the bases except for the evening for the village Christmas dinner or staff recognition party, whatever we call that? Did we want to look at going that first Saturday in December the 6th? Because we usually go quite early. Is that the weekend that you'd like to go, or the weekend after the 13th? Anybody have a preference? Councillor Wimmer?
Yeah, I definitely would prefer probably December 6th. Tends to be about the time that we go, and it sounds like everything after that's getting pretty darn busy for people.
I think I agree with Councillor Wimmer. I think the 6th would be the best. It's council in agreement with that evening of 6 being the social, okay. And the The other thing that the administrator is advising us is we need a motion to approve a free swim and free Christmas skate based on what we had last year. I'm not sure exactly days and time, but I think we'd replicate that. I think we had the free skate on the Friday evening and the free swim on the Saturday. And I just move that we have a repeat of what we had last year and that it be free to the public. And that's what, that's the motion. Who care to move it? You'd need that?
Seconded if you've moved
Counselor
it.
Weimer? I can move it. They're gonna get someone else. I'll say I'm moving it. Counselor Weimer seconded it. Any discussion, any more discussion? No call for the question. All in favor? Done. Good. And is there anything else we need that you need, sir? Okay,
No, your worship.
thank you. Question period? Any questions online, sir? Nope. Any questions from the gallery? I just love you guys. It's my favorite gallery. You can come every night. We're here nearly every night now.
Question so much as just a statement. Very pleased about the budget being balanced. That is great work and hats off to you. That's very, very good. That we got there.
Well, thank you, sir. As somebody who taught me about financial responsibility over my term here, I appreciate that recognition and acknowledgement. That means a lot to me and this council and community, and I'm sure the staff. Thank you, sir. Great. No questions. We can move on. Notice of motion. Councilor Weimer, did you want to just have this received or do you want to speak to it?
Yeah, this is a motion I'll be bringing to our next regular council meeting, early December, whichever Monday that is. And it's a motion regarding seeking wildfire mitigation grants to support free yard waste disposal days. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, sir. So we received that. Great. Notice motion to adjourn in camera pursuant to, you want to include all the rest of the wording there for us, Administrator Roy, because I don't.
I believe
memorize-
per section 91C, labor and employee.
Thank you, sir. Do you care to move it? Councillor Pringle, second by Councillor Fossin. Ladies and gentlemen, the gallery with your council is going to go into